Welcome to Bay Area Older Adults Origami class. Today we're going to be making two different dogs. The first dog is a Dachshund, that's shown here in pink. And the second dog is a little more complex, got a nice little tail, cute little stubby nose, and even has ears. And better yet, it actually stands. So we're going to be doing the easier Dachshund first, and then if you want to continue on, we're going to do this more complicated, not too complicated, but just more time to do this really nice dog. Now, just to get started, this is just wrapping paper that I cut to be 8.5 by 8.5. And the reason I chose a nice large piece of paper is it makes it easier to fold. Because once you fold down into smaller and smaller pieces, if you start out with a bigger piece, then you don't end up with such a small piece. And this is just some purple wrapping paper. You could use scrap wrapping paper. You could use store-bought from the dollar store wrapping paper. It's nice because it's thin. You get some nice creases. And it's just easier to use, and that's actually much more similar to real origami paper. That there's no real reason to buy that because you might as well reuse paper that you have in the house. Now you could also use paper that say is in your printer. That's a little bit more heavy duty, so it'll take a little more to make nice sturdy creases, but that will work as well. So we had started with just folding this paper in half. Here, let's do it this way. So you're going to basically line up the paper with the other edge, right? And like I always do, just put your finger down in the center and hold it over on this top side, and then use your fingernail to crease it outwards from the center. The next thing we're going to do is another simple fold, horizontal fold, where we're going to put this end of the paper to the center fold that we just made. And again, maybe put your thumb at the top there, bring your other forefinger down, and then crease it going outwards from the center. So again, it's not a bad idea to go use your nail and crease it again. So that first fold, want to crease it again. Make sure you got the nice deep crease. When you did this one, do a nice recrease. Because really the creases are what you're using to build the rest of the model. So without good, strong creases, it's going to be harder for you to do the rest of the model. So now we've got this side put down here. So that I can see this nice center line, I'm going to fold the next side up to. Just repeat it on the other side. I think I'm just going to open this up so I can see that line better because it's white. So again, put your finger up here, pull your finger down to the center, and then crease from the center outwards. So again, just rub your nail back and forth to get a nice crease. So now you see what we're going to do next is take this corner and we're going to match this line, this side up with this center. So you're lining this edge with this edge. And you should get a nice sharp point here. You want to line it up really well here. And again, hold it down at this top, bring your finger out, and go out from the center with your thumbnail or your forefinger nail. Okay, then you're going to do the same thing on the other side. Everything is usually symmetrical. There's sometimes when it's not. And again, you're lining up this edge with this edge. And you can kind of use the other side to see where it should be so that it gets a nice sharp point here. Hold that there. Put your forefinger down the middle and then crease it. It's never, so look, see, I didn't really line it up too well on the tip there, so I'm just going to move it up a bit. And redo that. It doesn't have to be perfect. The main thing is you've got nice creases there that you can reuse. Okay, so we've got these two folded here. And don't forget to crease. Now what we're going to do is something kind of cute. Is you're going to stick your thumb in here. Open this up. Now you see that this fold is in and this fold is out. So you're going to lift this up, and what you're going to do is push your finger to reverse this fold direction. Okay, squeeze that. And then stick your finger in there. What you want to do is push this down so that you get a triangle that's laid down. Now you might need to put your finger in here so that it lays down properly, and then you want to roll your fingernail on it to get that nice and creased. So again, you're opening this up, lifting up this corner, and you don't have to do this. I mean, it might be that you have no trouble, so lift this up. And what you want to do, again, maybe you use this finger for this side of the paper to roll over. You want to set down this triangle here. Okay, and again, go over the crease with your fingernail or your thumbnail to get that nice and tidy. Okay, so we're going to do the same exact thing on the other side. So again, we're taking this edge here, and we're going to line it up with this edge. Bring it down. Go from the center to the other edge. Make sure the crease is nice. I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. Bring it down. The center. Crease it on the other side. And again, creases are the most important thing. Now, you can see I'm a little off, right? So this is a little longer than this. So, yeah, might have little problems later, but the main thing is I've got these creases down. So do we remember what to do now here? We're going to open this end. I'm going to stick my finger in while I'm holding the other side. What I want to do is crease this puppy a little, and then maybe stick my finger underneath there so I can get it to fold down. And then crease. Okay. We're opening this up, sticking my right finger in this time to kind of pop this thing up. And this is going to be the part that's a little hard because it's actually creased the opposite direction to what we want. So you might want to pinch it over here. Get it to crease. And then pull it down. Maybe stick your finger under here so that you can bend it. And then again, let's crease. So let's just go over and crease all these things one more time. And now we're good to go. So now we've got this nice shape here. And what first thing we're going to do is fold this over so it's a nice straight line. Now what you can see is this nice center line. This line here should line up with this line in terms of centering. And you want this to be nice and straight across. So maybe push down the center and then push over on either end with your finger. So you want some nice tight corners here. And just again, make sure that those creases are nice and solid. So now this is what you... So the next thing you're going to do is you're going to make the doggy legs. So these legs. So see, this is like a nice little leg. You're going to be taking this and putting this edge up over here, matching that edge to edge. I'll try to do it so you can see it better. You want to get this point lined up there. So see, this edge is lined up with this edge. And then make your crease. And you're going to do the same thing on the other side. Fold this over and line up this edge with this edge. Get a nice sharp corner on both sides. Same thing on this side. So remember, symmetrical. So we went and we did this end, the bottom first. Let's put this edge over on this nice line we've got, nice crease we've got over here. And then same thing on this side. So let's do it so you can see me better. Fold this up to this edge. See, so you've got a nice sharp point there. And then get a nice crease here. Okay, so the next thing we're going to do is turn this over. And we're going to fold this edge to the center crease. So now you can see, I like to do it this way. Turn it upside down and put the bottom to the top. And so you can see there's going to be a little bit thicker paper here, because basically you've got multiple folds here. So what would be easier is to, pull your thumb down to the center and then spread your nail apart. And then when you get to the thicker part, just push your thumb down. Same with this end. Just push your thumb down. Get that crease in there. So you can kind of see, all right, we're looking like the body of the dog here. So what do? If we did on one side, we do it on the next side. We're essentially putting this edge up to the center crease again. Pull down from the center, get your nail making the crease, and then where it gets thick, like over here is not as thick, you can use your nail. Where it's thick over here, just push down with your finger or your thumb. And now you're looking at the body of the dog. So now we're going to be folding this in. So what happens? You got the little leggies going on, right? So we're taking what we just folded and just folding it in half. And so does this look like the dog we're making? It's getting closer, right? So the only thing left really over here is to make the face. Okay, so the next thing I want you to notice is what we want to do is like a kind of pre-fold with this little tip to the tip here. So what we're going to do is turn this over. So again, this little tip to this tip here, we're going to just put your finger in between here, and you want to try to make a little fold there so that between this and this, just not a real big crease, not a hard crease, just a little bit of a tap there. And the same thing on this side. So again, basically this tip to this tip. So this tip to this tip. So we're just gonna make a little fold here. And so essentially what we're doing then after that, so here are your little legs, right, is now we've got a little bit of a fold already, so we can emphasize that a little more. Press down on that fold that you just made. Press down on it. And then you're going to fold this in so you have a straight line here. Okay, straight line across. So we're going to do that again. All right, so remember, this tip to this tip, we're going to just pinch it, essentially. So we get some kind of crease there. Again, everything is based on creases. Flip it on the other side. And this to this, we're going to just do a little crease. And the crease is not necessary for this outer part, because that's where the leg is. Doesn't need to be creased, but more for this inner part. So because we have that crease, we'll push these legs down, get them out of our way. And then we're going to essentially, we got this crease here, but that also means we can pinch this thing in with this crease. So push the legs down, push this with your finger up. So again, we have the crease on both sides, so we're going to push this thing, maybe push this thing up like this while we're holding the body over here. And then push it enough so we're actually folding where it already has a crease. So this is a little bit, this is probably the hardest part of this dog origami. So let's do it one more time. So we made our creases. I think you got that already. Got the creases on both sides. If you're a righty, maybe you hold the body with your left fingers and do this with your right finger. You're essentially going to keep your fingers here so that when you push over here, you got something to push against, and fold it. And go in. And the reason why it folds easily or not easily is because of all our pre-creases. Okay, so now we have this nice straight line over here, which you can see if you flip it over is essentially what we're doing to start making the dog face. So the next step is sticking your finger a little in the dog face area, and you're just going to left finger in there, right finger, push down here, and push down, a little ways, so that you essentially are getting the head made. Right, so ideally, you could try pinching it again here to get the crease made right there and right there, if you can see what I'm doing. And then it'll fold nice and easy. So let's do that again. We got no head, and now we're just pinching this piece of the paper against this edge a little bit. Do that on the other side. Pinch it down, this paper against this edge of the folded paper, and then you're getting your head. You want to crease that some more as well. Oops, we got the leg all tangled up in there. Oops, sorry about that. Now the last thing to do is just make a stubby nose. So that way you're kind of doing the same exact thing, but with the little tip here, pushing that piece of paper up and just closing it on itself. And we got that first Dachshund origami dog all done.